guys, great to see you. Welcome to another video and thanks very much indeed for joining me for this one. Okay, so there you just heard me soloing and jamming around in the key of D. Alright, so I was playing the chords D, G and A, and that's the 1, the 4 and the 5. D being the root, G being the 4 and A being the 5. Alright, now this is following on from a couple of videos that I've done recently about soloing in the key of C, and hopefully you've had an opportunity to look at those videos. If you haven't, I'll pop a link down below so you can check those. And what I'm trying to do in these series of videos is to help you develop some of your own melodic ideas. Now, you see, one of the things that is difficult to teach, as I pointed out in previous videos, is melody. I can show you how to play certain licks and various things along those lines, and that has some value, but it is limited, because ultimately what we want to be able to do is to create our own melodies, and a good way of doing that is by having the tools and the kind of information to know where you should be playing and the type of things you should be exploring. So that's what I've been trying to do in this series of videos, and this will be ongoing because, you know, I'd like to take you to a place whereby you do, as I say, have these tools to just entertain yourself by just riffing along in certain keys. And I've changed the key for this lesson because, you know, I want to switch it and vary it a little bit so we're not just limited to one key and you're able to do things in various different keys. In today's lesson, we're going to be taking a look how we can use the major and the minor pentatonic scales and how we can create some interest in our solos. So the rhythm that you heard in the song, and I will post this as well so you've got something to play along with, it's very basic, just what you heard, and that will be enough for you to just jam along with. And so what you heard there was essentially an A chord, a G chord, and a D chord. Something along those lines, right? Now, it's unusual in a sense because generally when we are trying to find out what key a song is in, it's more often than not starts with the, you know, the chord which turns out to be the key of the song. Now in this instance it isn't, okay, because obviously we're starting in A, right? And that's not the key that we're playing in, it's actually D, which is the final chord that we play. So we've got, and it's important that you understand this basic concept, okay? So we're starting with the 5 chord, 4 chord, 1 chord. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 5 chord and we're going to be playing both the major and the minor pentatonic for the A. Alright, so I'm sure many of you know this already, but I'll just talk you through it anyhow. 5, 8, alright, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8, and that is our A minor pentatonic. Okay, now as I've already pointed out in previous lessons, if we move this down 3 frets, 1, 2, 3, we're in an F sharp position, right? So that is the major, the A major position for the pentatonic. Now we sometimes skip this F sharp and we start on the A, which makes sense if you think about it, because we're going to be playing the A major pentatonic. Alright, so I'm playing the 6th string, 5th fret, and then I'm onto the 5th string, going down the strings from this point, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 5. Alright, so that's the major, the A major pentatonic. And so all we're really doing throughout this jam, if you like, is switching between the major to the minor. Okay, and that's all that we're doing really. We're just taking the major positions and minor positions. And the idea is that you start off really basic, Okay, because you know it could be that you're just starting out on your journey. Now it's difficult for me in a sense because I have lots of different levels. So some of you are just starting on your guitar journey, others are more intermediate, and then there are another group who are quite advanced. Okay, so I'm just trying to do something which will resonate with everybody to some extent. All right, so that's the basic concept, that we're just going to be switching between the major position and the minor position and just keeping it very simple. Now for an example, right, let's just go to this fourth string and we're going to play 2-4 and then the same on the next string down, the third string, 2-4. And we're going to do that up in the minor position as well. We're going to play 5-7 on the fourth string and 5-7 on the third string. Okay? And this is the way we may start this kind of idea, because it's always a good idea to start out simple, yeah? And then you can develop the ideas and you can start adding a few articulations and things like that. Okay, so let's just take a listen to what we can do on a very simplistic level for those beginners out there who are just looking to start trying to get some melodic ideas together. So let's start the backing, and like I say, we just got this little box here on the 2nd to 4th frets on the 3rd and 4th strings, 2-4, 2-4, and then we move up 5-7, 5-7, all on the 3rd and 4th strings. All right, so let's see if we can just generate a little bit of interest. It can be very, very simple. And I'm going to be very interested to know how you get along with this and how it works for you. So let's just start this up and show you some ideas. Because what we're like trying to do here is it's almost like talk and repeat and answer and repeat type of thing. So let me show you what I mean. Nice and simple. Alright, so major, minor, major, major, minor. And the nice thing is, it doesn't matter when we go to the major or the minor, it really works whatever you do. Minor, major, minor, major. You see? So already you can see, you can play these most simplistic ideas and it kind of makes sense, yeah? It starts kind of taking on a life of its own, as it were. And so this is what you're looking to do, and try not to be too repetitive about what you do. And the more that you can introduce different elements, the more interesting it will become. So of course, when I talk about articulations, what I mean is things like bends and hammer-ons and pull-offs and vibrato and things like that. It's surprising how much we can actually do just by adding a few articulations to very, very simple melodic lines. So a lot of people tend to think it has to be very fast and, you know, difficult for it to sound good. But that's not the case. If you listen to some of the greatest guitarists, you know, like B.B. King and, you know, lots of them, they make magic happen with very, very simple little phrases. And so that's what you're looking to do, okay? I think that's where a lot of the skill lies, not thinking, you know, you've got to do all this kind of fancy stuff, all right? So this time what I'll do is I'll start off very, very simple, and then we'll try and build on that simplicity and, you know, start getting a little bit more complex, but then maybe dropping it back to simplicity, okay? So what you're looking for when you're doing this is variation, in what you do, and not too much repetition. Repetition can work to some degree, but you're just looking for variation to expand your kind of vocabulary, as it were, your musical vocabulary, all right? Don't get too stuck in a particular groove or something like that. Force yourself to kind of test out other ideas, and if it goes wrong, that doesn't matter. That's all part of the process. So let's see what we can do, starting out very simple and just gradually stepping it up a little bit, yeah? Okay, so just to give you some ideas, yeah, it's really not about what I'm playing. This is what I want to get across to you, really. It's much more about what you folks do. I mean, you know, I can do stuff like this forevermore, really. I just really enjoy messing about with this type of thing and just exploring and things. But what I want to do is give you the tools to be able to explore and develop some of these melodic ideas. And so hopefully, along with just those basic chords behind you, and don't forget, this is where the looper or the ditto pedal comes in really, really handy. You can just knock up your own loops in lots of different keys and things like that. So it's really handy to do that. But I have included the backing that I've been using for those of you who don't have those facilities. And I hope that you just enjoy, you know, jamming about with this and maybe having a little bit of fun. And I'd be really interested in your feedback in this type of lesson, if this is the type of thing you enjoy doing and you'd like more of this type of stuff. So please do interact with me, because that really does help shape the future lessons, as I pointed out to you before. And I just look forward to seeing you soon with another lesson. And in the meantime, just have fun. Try to make these things your own and just enjoy the journey. Don't get frustrated. Remember, it takes time for us to educate our fingers to do the things that we want them to do. It's not just, you know, happening overnight, these things. So you need to practice. If there's a little maneuver that you want to do, but you find it particularly tricky, then just spend 5 or 10 minutes just trying to work on that little groove or whatever it is that you're trying to figure out. And it will pay dividends that way. So anyway, folks, I hope that you enjoy this one. I look forward to seeing you soon with another lesson. And in the meantime, you take care.